of my book. Brownell disliked meeting with authors face to face, preferring the cool distance of letters, where words could be considered at length. But Scribners had been waiting for Mrs. Wharton's words for too long, and when they heard she was coming to New York in order to sell her house in the city, a meeting was proposed. He and the magazine editor, Burlingame, had tossed a coin as to who might have the pleasure of tea with Mrs. Wharton. Brownell had lost, and so here he was. The waiter had returned, bearing a silk-tasseled pillow of blue and gold. This he set down on the floor, and a Pekingese appeared, padding on tiny, unseen feet to the pillow's edge, where it was lifted, then set down. Settled on its luxurious cushion, it seemed to lie down. At least it quivered and looked lower than before. This was new. Previously, Mrs. Wharton had favored long-haired Chihuahuas. If it were possible for a breed to more closely resemble vermin, Brownell was not aware of it. The Pekingese, at least, had the advantage of volume, although the bright black button eyes were the only sign that it was a living thing and not a footstool. Just then, those eyes moved in his direction. The thing seemed to pant. With the exquisite sensitivity of all pampered creatures, it sensed it was being observed. As if on cue, his mistress also looked up. Her expression told him she was aware that he had assessed her, and she was now assessing the assessment. Bravely he advanced. "Mrs. Wharton, my deepest apologies for being late. To atone, I bring you a gift." Sitting down at the small table, which was laden with china and silver, he slid a red book in front of her. "The first printing of Tales of Men and Ghosts. We do hope you like it." Immediately, he worried that he had overstressed the "you," alerting Mrs. Wharton that Scribners was less than thrilled by a collection of short stories that, in terms of content and style, bore little resemblance to The House of Mirth, her raging success of 5 years ago. When it was serialized, readers had buzzed for months over the fate of Lily Bart. Would she marry for position, for money, or for love? The public shock when the beautiful Lily destroyed herself had rivaled the clamor over the death of little Nell. Now, Lily's creator gazed at the book over her gilt-edged Minton teacup of deep rose. Laying her gloved fingertips on the edge of the book, she opened it to the frontispiece and frowned. Setting the cup aside, she sat the book upright and raised the cover to peer at the spine. Then she split the volume in two and inspected the typeface. "Words fail to express how completely I don't like it. The ellipses alone. You could drive a coach and 4 between these dots." He had expected this and gave her a game smile. "I should have been disappointed if you approved." It was meant as an affectionate reference to their earlier quarrels, but the pained twitch of her mouth, indicating indifference to her happiness, felt all too familiar. He had heard that her marriage was in difficulties. There were rumors of her husband cavorting with young actresses, of missing funds, even madness. There he had doubts. Teddy Wharton was the most conventional of men, of an old Boston family, partial to dogs and golf and not much else. "Far too dull to be unstable," said Burlingame, and he, Brownell, had agreed. True, Mrs. Wharton had written to him that her husband's health claimed much of her time and energies, leaving her less opportunity to write. But he took that as a delaying tactic, much like her headaches and hay fever. A rumble beneath the thickly carpeted floor set the silverware tinkling. Taking advantage of the diversion, he joked, "I suppose that is what comes of building a hotel directly above the subway." "That is what comes of letting August Belmont build a hotel," she said, referring indirectly to the fact that Mr. Belmont was also the founder of the Interborough.